How are individual rights protected? Given the protection of rights in the body, would you have agreed or disagreed with the Anti-Federalists? What additional rights, if any, do you think should be added? When you're ready.
Wait, I may have left mine in the other room.
Just pass it.
Okay.
You may begin.
Supreme Court Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes wrote in his dissent of Abrams v. United States that the Constitution is an experiment, as all life is an experiment. The framers were experimenting when they wrote the Constitution and set a new standard for how a government should function. But they could never foresee how the nation would evolve. Their legacy left the question, did the 55 delegates at the Philadelphia Convention provide sufficient protection of the individual rights of citizens?
A variety of individual rights are addressed in the body of the Constitution. Alexander Hamilton, in Federalist Paper No. 84, makes comparisons between the newly formed Constitution and that of New York, not only the biggest state, but also the only one without a Bill of Rights. The Constitution of New York has no Bill of Rights prefixed to it, yet it contains, in the body of it, various provisions in favor of particular privileges and rights, which, in substance, amount to the same thing. To Hamilton, this proved that the Constitution secured all the individual rights needing protection, and that those not mentioned were self-evident.
Article 1, Section 9 discusses issues such as bills of attainder, ex post facto, and the writ of habeas corpus, while Article 3 provides the accused a trial by jury. These rights place emphasis on the procedure behind enforcing laws, as compared to the substance of the laws themselves. The Founding Fathers also believed that the people's right to security needed to be protected by the federal government, due to Shays' Rebellion and slave revolts of the time.
While all these rights were included, the Anti-Federalists still believed they did not adequately protect the individual's rights. Although Alexander Hamilton wrote that the addition of a Bill of Rights would not only be unnecessary, but would also be dangerous, history has proven that it is essential to the protection of individual rights.
Anti-Federalists look for direct assurances of our individual rights. They believe that the government would infringe upon those rights unless they were explicitly stated. In the wording of the body of the Constitution, the focus seemed to be placed primarily on the negative rights of elected officials, and less on individual rights of citizens. For example, freedom of religion is touched upon in Article 6, Section 3, but only in regards to those running or holding office.
The Bill of Rights deals with individuals, ensuring that their religious freedoms be respected as well. The Bill of Rights is also needed to protect the freedom of the press, as shown in the case of New York Times v. U.S. Without the release of the Pentagon Papers, the public would have been ignorant of the government lies about Vietnam. This shows that the risk of infringement upon our rights would have been much greater without the addition of the Bill of Rights.
Aware that the needs of the people would change over time, the founders included Article 5 in order to allow the addition of amendments. An amendment formally defining the right to privacy should be added to the Constitution. Because the wording of the Constitution only implies and does not explicitly include privacy, controversial cases involving one's right to privacy have arisen.
One such instance is the case of Katz v. United States, where government officials unconstitutionally monitored a man's private conversation. However, Justice Hugo Black dissented, stating that if the framers had desired to outlaw or restrict the use of evidence obtained by eavesdropping, I believe that they would have used the appropriate language to do so in the Fourth Amendment.
Due to the omission of an amendment stating a formal definition of privacy, people such as Justice Hugo Black were content with denying privacy to citizens. Therefore, for the same reasons that the Anti-Federalists argued for a Bill of Rights, amendments protecting controversial, unenumerated rights, such as privacy, are needed.
Although Anti-Federalists were justified in their demand for a Bill of Rights, Article 5 gave future generations the freedom to add rights they felt necessary. This allowed in short term for the Bill of Rights and long term for the remaining 17 amendments that followed. The founders anticipated changes the nation would face and did in fact create a system that adequately protected the rights of individuals. Thank you.
Go ahead.
When it says, what additional rights, if any, do you think should be added to the Constitution? I'm not completely sure, but because rights is plural, And I know you guys talked about privacy, but maybe if you guys wanted to add other things
Yeah.
besides privacy.
That's what I was gonna say, like, just bring up another modern issue.
Yeah, we usually also just keep like, we have like a list of like 3 or 4 that we usually use in cross-six as well.
But else is what are rights of any, so they don't have to say any, they can say none at all too, okay? So that's good, but they don't have to do any if they don't wish.
Do you think that we should?
No. I think you need contemporary examples in the second bullet. Cause you have none. And I don't think, and you don't have anything in the first bullet either. I think you guys need to make this modern and talk about how those individual rights are protected and give examples of today, how they're still being protected throughout without the Bill of Rights.
So we should say that we don't need to add anything? Or
No.
it's not even mentioned?
No. I'm talking about, no. You're good with privacy.
Okay.
Stick to it. I'm saying in bullet, the overall question in the first bullet, you don't have any contemporary examples, and I think you need to add contemporary examples. And then the other question is, would you agree or disagree with the Federalists? You need to be explicit. Yes, we agree with the Anti-Federalists. No, we don't disagree. No, we disagree with the Anti-Federalists. You talk about the history of it, but don't give an explicit answer.
They kind of indirectly said, like, the Bill of Rights is very important.
But you don't say
Yeah,
it.
but you don't say, I agree.
Say it. Anna.
I thought same thing, and then you guys were fine. Donner's reading those or whatever. I taught that time, so it was fun. But, yeah, I mean, you're all sitting up straight and not super fidgety, and it seems fine.
Mace.
Sarah, you could hold your paper lower when you're reading, or sit up more straight. You're sitting very straight right now, but you weren't when you were reading.
Okay, sorry.
Everyone else, you guys improved, so.
Good eye contact?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Switch. Which one do you guys want to do?
Maybe we'll do 3 first.